want to just get right to the reactions and get on the phones and the text lines as quickly as possible on this one. So I'm just going to summarize this message I received from this girl. So she and her boyfriend have been together for over a year. They live together. They're getting ready to have a Halloween party at their place. This is the first Halloween that they've had. They both really like Halloween a lot. She is really upset, though, because he is refusing to change his mind on the fact that he is going to be Jeffrey Dahmer for Halloween, and she's really upset about that. He also wants to have some Dahmer-themed things at the party. And she is not having it, and he's not budging, she's not budging, and she's legit like, am I overreacting to think that this is insane and that I want to consider breaking up with him over this? Because he is not budging off the fact that he wants to be Dahmer for Halloween and have some Dahmer-themed parts of their Halloween party together at their place. What do you think? 441-Y107, or you can text 800-500-Y107. My wife was in Florida for a few days with some family and friends, and now she's at her Aunt Brenda and Uncle Charles in Alabama. I'm going to get Kat on the phone to get her take. What's your take? Does she break up with him? Is that too far? Or what should she do?
Be a part of the show now. Call 441-Y107.
A lot of calls, a lot of texts. You can keep texting 800-500-9107. Michelle from the Lake of the Ozarks, she texts in and says, I don't know if she should break up with him. It's definitely not a cool idea. Thanks for the show. 441-Y107. My wife, Kat, actually on the line.
Hey.
Good morning, babe.
Good morning.
So I know you're listening on the app because you're on your way back from Florida and hanging out with your awesome Aunt Brenda and Uncle Charles in Alabama.
Yes.
And you're listening to the show this morning and you texted me. You're like, can I please call in, talk to this girl? I'm like, well, she's not on the phone. She emailed me and she's like, what do I do? Like, he is hell-bent on being Jeffrey Dahmer for Halloween. And, you know, they've got a place together and he kind of wants to make it not the whole party themed around Dahmer, but she's considering dumping him. I was just curious. I really wanted to get a female perspective from you on what you thought she should do,
right.
Or, because she is listening. So,
yeah, and I think this is the type of thing where you see someone's character. You can, of course, I'm sure she's heard from him about his reasonings and all that kind of stuff, and they've talked more in depth than the details that they've given us, but you also have to look at actions speaking a little bit louder than words too sometimes, and just finding out little bits and pieces of someone's character and things like this is kind of important. I think that it's really a matter of if something's offending someone else or controversial in any way or anything like that, it's important to take other people's feelings and other people's opinions and how it affects other people into consideration. Like, I don't think that he is thinking ahead, just like, the people that wrote the show and everything. They didn't, it seems, from my point of view, it seems that they did not take into account how the family would feel and all the other families, that would be, when they brought the show out, like how those families would feel with all that stuff being brought back up again. And so I think it's one red flag that he's, digging his feet in the sand on this one and not wanting to give up because it's clearly upsetting her.
Yeah.
And then number two, another red flag that he would even, maybe not think ahead at how this is going to affect other people, paying attention to the people around him, the different personalities that people have. Gosh, I don't know.
I know what you're saying.
You have to be cognizant of how it's going to help, or make other people feel. I just feel like he's really either unaware of other types of personalities, or he just doesn't care. So I think that's what she needs to get to the bottom of.
He's so stuck in this, I want to make this funny thing, and it's so popular right now that I'm going to do this, and that's it. And he's not thinking about anybody, especially his girlfriend of over a year, and they live together, and he supposedly loves her. And she's She's considering breaking up with him. I want to get your calls, listeners. 441-Y107. Kat, do you have another quick second? I know Aunt Brenda's making breakfast. Are you good? Can you hang on for just a second?
Yes.
Okay. Yay! She's going to help her husband with his morning show. Hang on just a second, because I want to ask you if the breakup angle is too far or not.
Right.
You think she should dump him or not? Michelle and Marshall.
Honestly, I feel like that's a little over extreme to be breaking up with him over. I mean, she has to take in fact that the Dahmer series is out now. That's something that's trending and something that's new. Some people have a dark sense of humor behind it, which, but if that's what he wants to do, then let him do it. But you can decide to be something else, but don't break up with him over that.
Okay, great call. Thank you. John on the text line said that's a legit Halloween costume and party. Silly to dump him over it. Get over yourself. Cosmo and the Wild 7 Morning Show. Man, this girl is this close to dumping her boyfriend of over a year. They live together. They're getting ready to host a Halloween party, and he is refusing to come off his idea of being Jeffrey Dahmer for Halloween, and she doesn't understand it. She's fed up. She's legit like this close to breaking up with this guy. Jonah's on the phone. Jonah, where are you calling from? What's your take on this?
Hi, I'm calling from the lake. I think the lady's overreacting here, honestly. I mean, when did this Dahmer stuff even really happen? Like 40, 50 years ago? Like, it's a costume. He's not actually eating people, am I right?
Wow. So you're fine with him going as Dahmer at their party and that they're hosting?
I actually think it'd be funny if she was Dahmer too. Could make it a couple's costume or something. Wow. I think, Dahmer's on Netflix. People are talking about it. It's a simple, cost-effective costume. I honestly don't. I think breaking up with him is an overreaction, and honestly, it sounds like she might be a bit of a wet bag.
Even
not very fun.
But so you don't think that her feelings matter? Like if she's offended and upset about this, that it doesn't matter what she thinks?
I'm not saying her feelings don't matter, but I think her feelings are dumb.
Wow. Okay, what do you think? Do you think like Jonah? So what? Big deal? Or do you think it's a really bad idea? And does she break up with him? Or what does she do? She's looking to you and us for advice. 441-Y107.
Just wanted to chime in briefly about the Dahmer costume. I think that almost everybody I've heard so far is kind of missing the biggest red flag here to me is that why is she considering dumping her boyfriend of over a year over a costume? Any costume. Like, I feel like that is probably a sign that she's not super into it in general.
I think part of it is that he's not in tune with her feelings at all.
I mean, he's a dude.
Yeah, but still, but that defense really, and I'm a dude, that only goes so far. Like, if she's legit has an issue with something, be willing to discuss it and find out why she has that issue. Like, why is that?
He won't even discuss it with her at all.
Doesn't sound like...
or they have discussed it, and he's just like, hey, I just still really want to do this. I mean, because she has a problem with it, if they have discussed it, and it's something he really wants to do, I mean, it's annoying, and it's kind of petty, but breaking up with somebody over a Halloween costume is also probably not a great sign that your relationship is super strong.
Karen on the text line said, I guarantee this isn't the first time she's thought about breaking up with this guy. He's showing her who he is, so get out now. What's your take, man?
I'd agree with the lady that just called a few minutes ago. If she's going to break up with him because he's dressing up as Dahmer, there's obviously other issues behind all of that, and she's just using that as a reason to break up with him because nobody breaks up with somebody just because they wear a costume they don't like. There's probably something else going on, and she's just using that as an excuse to break up with her.
Yeah. I think you're on the right track, man. Ashley on the text line from Moberly, 800-500-9107. If she wanted to dress up as a stripper and wear pasties and a thong and have stripper activities at their apartment party, he might have an issue with that. And if she proceeded with that and didn't consider his feelings about her going as a stripper for Halloween, I'm pretty certain he would consider breaking up too. Jessica from Lebanon. I think that she is being a big baby because she didn't get what she wants, but that's just part of life, as you don't always get what you want. or she is using this as an excuse to break up with him because she's not willing to give another reason of why she actually wants to break up with him. Either way, she's a little B-word. I think there is definitely something else going on in this relationship. This probably isn't the first time that she's thought about it, flirted with it, whatever. And it's just the biggest thing right now and an opportunity for her to consider dumping him. What's your take? You can text or call 441-Y107. My wife, Kat, is jumped on here on the phone. You've been listening on the app. You're hanging out at your awesome Aunt Brenda and Uncle Charles' house in Alabama on your way back from Florida. Lucky.
Yes.
Oh. We've gotten a lot of texts, a lot of calls on this. This girl is not alone. There's other people that are saying, yeah, their friends are talking about wanting to be Jeffrey Dahmer for Halloween. I mean, eBay has pulled down costumes. A lot of places and businesses are saying, look, if you even show up as Dahmer for our bar or our nightclub Halloween party, you're not getting in. We will not let you in. They're willing to give up the business to draw a hard line on this costume. And now here's this guy, this boyfriend. They've lived together. They've been together for over a year. They're going to host a Halloween party at their place. And he is digging his feet in and maintaining that he wants to be Dahmer and that part of the party is going to be a Dahmer theme. And she's considering breaking up with him. Is that too far? Or what do you think, babe?
I don't think it's too far, because if he's going to dig his feet in over this and she has let him know her feelings on it and he's not considering those, or he just really doesn't care, then there's something there more that's more deep than just wanting to be Dahmer for Halloween. I mean, I think that really speaks to his character, and maybe it is a good idea for her to see this kind of stuff ahead of time, and take it as a red flag, because if he's willing to throw away a relationship for over a year based on just a costume for a few hours one night, then what does that say about him and how he really values the relationship?
Yeah, I think you're right on the money with red flags. I wonder what other things, and I'm sure, and a girl, lady, if you're listening, girl, listen to me. What? If you're listening, I maybe think back to some other moments and think, you know what? Mm-hmm. He did this at that tailgate that one time, and I kind of blew it off. But now you think about it with this and how he's acting now, and you go, you know what? Man, I need to really... Because you're right. It all comes down to her feelings, and if he truly loves her, he would be willing to ditch him being ha-ha, funny, whatever he's trying to go for here for her.
Right. There's some things that are worth digging your feet in the sand on, and there's some things that are not, and this is definitely not. And so I think, number one, it's a good idea to have a conversation with them, to sit down and be like, look, maybe the conversations they've had haven't been really clear yet. So just sitting down and saying, hey, look, this is how this is making me feel. I'm willing to call this off almost, because of this, because it upsets me that much. So where are you coming from? Is this, is this, are you willing to do this despite how I feel, and just kind of get a feel of how he is really viewing, ask him a lot of questions to try to get him to say exactly how he's feeling and give you as much information as you can get based on where he really, really stands. And that's going to give you all the evidence that you need, I believe, to figure out if this is somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with or not.
Well, hey, thank you for checking in, babe. I'm going to keep the phone. The phones are ringing like crazy, so I'm going to grab some of these calls. But yes, thank you. Love you. If I hear from her, I've asked her if she would call in, and she right now is saying, I don't want to call the show yet, but I might tomorrow.
Yeah.
I need to think. She's got a lot of stuff going on in her mind right now, and considering the possibility of ending a fairly long-term relationship. So
yeah, and that's hard.
Tons of phone calls, tons of texts. The conversation's still going on Facebook, too. Should she break up with him? Is that too far? He's refusing to change his costume idea for the party they are hosting together. Kristen is on the line here at 441-Y107. Kristen, where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from Columbia.
Hello. Good morning. So what is your take on this? I know you're driving to work. What are you thinking?
Wow. I mean, my mouth is on the car floor. I don't know if she should necessarily break up with the guy, but they have to have a serious talk, because to me this just looks like a bright like crimson red flag waving smack in her face. I mean, obviously there's something a little off with this guy if he wants to portray himself as a freaking, serial killer that, ate people, right? Didn't he eat people?
Yeah.
Like, there's something off. There's just something off. So, I think something they need to have a conversation.
I am all about the relevant pop culture costumes over the years. That's always been kind of my theme, but at some point you got to kind of draw a line a little bit and go, just because it's on Netflix, is it really? And especially if he's hearing his girlfriend of over a year talk about how it upsets her so much, and he's still refusing to budge at all. Like, that's, like you said, the giant crimson flag.
It just lacks taste. I don't know. It's pretty appalling. Something's off. Something is off.
So you're thinking maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being dump him right now, kick him to the curb, you're somewhere at like what, a 6 or a 7?
I'm at a 9. I'm just saying talk to him first, and then if he still is not going to come around.
So you're to the point where let's sit down and have one more conversation, and you tell me why is this? What I would say is, why is this so important to you? What is the big deal?
Right. Why are you digging your heels in for a serial killer?
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay. Great call, Kristen.
He's such a bad guy that other inmates killed him. I think they bludgeoned him to death or whatever. That's how bad he is.
Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, well, hey, Kristen, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
Thanks. You're awesome.
Thank you. Jacqueline, text line. This is for the guy who wanted to have the Dahmer party. Be a normal weirdo and be a Vecna. Or don't be an actual person who did horrendous things to other people. She should tell him they're breaking up unless sees a therapist. What's your take? Text or call, and I'm getting the question up on Facebook. You can chime there, too.
You're listening to Cosmo and the Y107 Morning Show.
Honestly, I think it's kind of rude that people are saying that she's overreacting. This isn't some cutesy, fictional villain. This is a real-life monster, who killed a bunch of people. It's not just a costume.
It's not Freddy Krueger. It's not Jason. It's not Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Right.
And especially with the show coming out, the families were not happy with it. They didn't approve it or anything. This didn't happen 100 years ago. There might be something else going on, but I think if he's not willing to think about the fact that this was a real life person who did horrible things, it's just not a costume. It's not just that. I don't know.
Cosmo.
Hey, what's up?
I can't believe she's even considering this. I mean, there's infidelity, there's lying, there's stealing, there's all these other things that couples can break up over. I mean, you're talking about a Halloween costume.
Right.
She might not like it, but he liked it. And is this really a battle that you want to die on? Who cares? Just let him have his fun and move on.
But if it really does bother her, shouldn't he take into consideration her feelings?
Well, he should.
Okay.
And I'm sure he is. But at the end of the day, it's a Halloween costume. Nobody's going to die. Nobody's going to get hurt by this. It's Halloween. It's a costume. It's pretend. This is a creative expression of Halloween.
Hey, so I just wanted to throw my opinion out there about the whole Halloween costume thing. First and foremost, the dude that was just on talking about let him have his fun, you, sir, also need therapy. Leave it to a man to have that kind of opinion. Secondary is I know over the last few years, the whole serial killer thing has been sensationalized, and you see all those memes about, girls sexualizing serial killers and all this other different stuff. And it's just kind of gross overall. The guy's approach to it is incredibly disrespectful. I don't care that it's quote unquote just Halloween. When it's just Halloween, dress up as the Ghostface guy or something. You don't dress up as people who literally cause nightmares and pain for other people's families.
So ultimate question, if you were her, do you break up with him over this?
Oh, I absolutely would. If it were me in that situation, absolutely.
Okay.
that just shows a lack of like empathy and respect towards this girl that he's now spent over a year with. Unacceptable.
Wake up, it's a new day. Keeping the conversation going now on Facebook. Y107 Morning Show.